All right, y'all. I was just listening to that before I got ready to start as I was preparing for this live stream. And as you can see tonight, we are going to be talking about our tips. Now expected, regardless of service. I'm getting ready to bring myself in, just doing a few last minute checks here. And we are going to be rocking and rolling and getting down to business and seeing what y'all think about these tips, man. Hopefully everybody's having a great day. This is Monday, the start of the weekend. Without any further ado, let me go ahead and bring myself in here. What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the Points Blank Experience. I am your host that sometimes does the most. It is your boy Rod. And on this channel, we have two simple slogans, philosophies, thoughts, whatever you want to call it. First of all, it's real talk from a point blank perspective. I don't have time to sugarcoat anything. I only like sugar in two things, and that's Kool-Aid and coffee. And I quit drinking Kool-Aid probably about who knows how many years ago, and I barely drink coffee. So there it is. Second thing, it's more than a YouTube channel. It is an experience, baby. And I can tell you, on Real Talk with Rod, we typically get down to it. If you hear anything, if some profanity slip out, it's not on purpose. Charge it to what I'm thinking about. Don't charge it to my heart. With that being said, man, I want to get ready to get up in here and do me a favor before we get going on. I see we got Event Yours. I know she was in the house earlier, and in case y'all can't tell, man, I changed my name. It's Rob, but tonight it's hashtag earn your tip. And that's right down at the bottom of the screen. And I may be removing it depending on when I pull comments up, how it shows. But hey, man, are people earning their tips or are they just expecting it? But are these people put in this certain situation and we may not need to be blaming them? We're going to talk about it here in a minute. Let me just see who all's in here real quick. And we have Keeping Up with the Griffins, part of the Alliance in the house, says, what's going on, Rob? What it do? And they're just speaking to one another. All right, let me take this off. So typically when I do a Real Talk with Rod topic, it's something that I've experienced, it's something that I've thought about, or it's something that just happened. Well, this one just happens to be all three. It just happened. It's something that I don't like, and it's something that I've been thinking about for a while, and it's time for me to just get it off my chest. Hey, Event Yours, exactly. And I'm gonna put that on there. Some people just expect it, and that's one of the things I want to talk about. And again, do me a favor, if you haven't done so, hit that subscribe button. It is a black subscribe button down below. Make sure you hit that. Also, it's a notification bell on the side of that. Make sure you tap that joint, and it's going to default personalized, go up to all. Select that and get a video a thumbs up. Hit that thumbs up, blow it, kiss it, smash it. I don't care what you do to it. Just make sure it changes colors. And with all that being said, we about to get down to it and have some real talk. So now, one of the things I noticed, man, with just thinking about tips, first and foremost, in case a lot of people don't know this, let me just put this out there. I've heard, now, I don't know how true it is because I've never worked for tips, but I heard that they get paid below minimum wage. They being employees that work for tips. So they're not getting like $15, $20 plus tips. They're getting like something, from what I heard, like $1.50 or $1.75. And then all of a sudden, if they don't get any tips, I mean, $1.75 an hour, 8 hours in a day, I'm just going to round it up to a smooth $1.50. Let me see, that's 8, half of that is $12 in a day. What are we going to do with that? So if that's the case, then I and we may need to change our perspective on how we look at the people that's working with and receive tips. I won't say working for tips, but in our reality, they are. But I look at this and okay, now I'm just gonna tell you Rod's mindset, and I am gonna be doing some. Back in the day, people used to call in to the radio station and get her advice. Well, we're gonna do something different. I'm gonna be dropping a link. You do not have to come up with your pitch, your face. You don't have to be on camera. I could actually do it like this and right here, and you'll just have your avatar there, and it'll be like that. So we don't even have to see you. But now. So going back to this whole tip thing, I'm just going to tell you how Rod thinking about it. If I go get a job, and I've never had a job with tips, but I've had several jobs, including the Navy, when I joined the Navy, where I made, I don't even know if it was minimum wage or not. I don't think it was. But I had one option to make more money when I was in the Navy. I had to work harder so I could get promoted. And each rank you got promoted, you got more money. If it's yours, Pretty Timmy know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. You was a military spouse. I mean, that was it's just common sense. If I want to complain about it and keep doing the same old thing and complaining about it, expecting to make more money, that's the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. No, that wasn't going to happen. So I'm going to say this here real quick. If you're sitting here and you know that you only going to make $1.25, and I'm going to use another example. I'm going to use my military example. I'm going to say this here, then I'm going to use my civilian example. If you're only making $1.25, then you need to work, perform, whatever you have to do. And when I say perform, I'm not talking about at the club, I'm talking about even in the restaurant. Do whatever you have to do to earn your money. You can't be a bartender sitting over there with 17 frowns on your face and mad at the world because you at work and all your friends at the beach. And all your customers said you're gonna be even madder when you get out because you're probably not gonna get any tips, and you're gonna be upset. But sometimes we have to fake it to make it, baby. We have to fake it to make it. So if I was a person that was working for tips, I'm gonna go in and perform so I can get my money, my Skrilla, my cheddar, my cheese, my change, my chicken, whatever y'all call it these days. I'm gonna get my paper. Now, when I got out of the Navy, I heard this rumor. They said if you don't do something super stressful, you might die in the next 10 years. Not me, but they said this was military-wide. I said, well, man, what can I do that's stressful? I don't need to do nothing too stressful because I already did 20 years in the Navy and couldn't swim. That was stressful enough. But what can I do? So I decided to get in the car business, sell cars. I went from E8 in the military. You can only go to E9 in the pinnacle of my career down to the bottom as a salesperson because that was the starting point. And you only got paid if you sold a car. But if you didn't make $1,800 a month, they had to give you that. They called it a draw. But if you didn't go out there and sell and perform, you wasn't getting paid. Did I ever not get paid? Yeah, at the beginning. Oh man, I didn't know what I was doing. I thought I was going to be the ish. I thought I was going to be the man, and it just didn't happen. It didn't happen. So, excuse me, I probably had to get up and get some water. Throat's a little dry. But instead of sitting under the tree with the crowd of people, I distanced myself and was by myself, because if a car pull up and there's a crowd of people, I got 1 in 6 or 7 or 8 or however many people out there, 1 out of 8 chances of getting to that customer. Now, if I worry about myself, I got a 1 out of 1 chance. And then I also noticed that people didn't like to pull up when the big crowd was there. They wanted to pull up where they thought no one was there because they didn't want to get bum rushed before they even got out the car. How many people been to the dealership and experienced that? So I said, well, then I need to find me a tree and be on the side of the tree where they can't see me. And it appears that it's just a tree. And then as they get ready to park, I ain't gonna pop out like the boogeyman or nothing. But I'm gonna ease my way out. Like maybe I just walked out, just happened to be walking by the tree. And I had them right where I wanted them, but I had to perform. So I'm gonna pull this here. Keeping Up with the Griffins said, yes, they get paid way below minimum. Okay, so we got confirmation. And if it's yours, Tanya said, yep, they work for tips, base salary plus tips. Similar to salespeople, base salary plus commission, it incentivizes them to provide good customer service. Well, somebody need to take Tanya's comment. I might do it if I can find, I got some scissors. I just got to find a printer. Excuse me. If I can find me a printer and print this out, I may just put this somewhere on my forehead or something when I'm sitting in the restaurant. Uh, Provide good customer service, equal tips. I ain't gonna put the whole thing, but I mean, seriously. Okay, now how many people experience this? You can put it in the comments. I know if you ain't never experienced it, you must eat at home every single day or don't go nowhere or don't do nothing. How many people? I'm gonna give you a couple examples. I'm gonna go ahead and drop this link in case anybody want to come on up here. Let me do this here real quick. Um, you're gonna see a link that pop up on the screen here at the bottom of the comments. Uh, there it is. And then if you click that, it'll tell you to do a couple things, then you can come up. Anyway, how many people been somewhere and I'm gonna start with the funny one. This is the one that cracked me up. We're gonna eat. We're gonna go up in like elementary tipping or elementary expectations with tipping, then middle school, then high school, then probably college. So elementary, they do a decent job, but they don't do a great job because they're still learning. They do a decent job, but they don't do a great job. And usually those are the ones that I sympathize with or empathize, whatever word I'm supposed to be using, because those are the ones that they just don't know what they're doing, but they're still trying. They haven't developed that attitude yet. How many people you work with don't know nothing? They come in all timid and shy and listen to what you have to tell them. Then they think they know everything. They don't want you to tell them nothing. They got a whole different demeanor. No. So those are the ones I'll say, okay, I'm going to tip them. I ain't going to go crazy. And then you give them a tip. Let's say I eat something, I give them a $3 tip. And they're happy, they're excited. Then they go talk to that other person, the person that's training. All they gave you was $3. I can't believe that. Well, let me tell you something. We're going to ease into another side of this here because people, we got a guest in the back. I'm going to bring her up, but I'm going to say this one little part, and then I'm going to bring this guest up. We got people that's going to, right now, restaurants, they starting to put it on your receipt. They don't know what service you about to get. They don't know what you about to order. I just may come there and want a glass of water or a soda, and they got 18% already calculated. Go be on my receipt. That's ludicrous. It's sanity. How you gonna put something on my receipt and we don't even know what kind of stuff? First of all, I usually on this channel I will. On my other channels I don't get into politics or religion. But if I'm only giving the Lord 10% on Sundays or whatever day, why am I giving this person 18%? And then all they did was brought me an extra cup of napkins. Didn't even come back to see if I was okay. And I'm over here dying of thirst because it's hot outside in Texas. It's 103 degrees. Hey, coming to the stage, ladies and gentlemen, we do have special guests. And I want to go ahead and make sure I'm not freezing here. And what's going on? Is that you, Tanya? I just see
Hey,
Hey,
Ron, how you doing?
I'm all right. What's up, girl?
I'm doing fine. I don't have my avatar up on this one because it's up on Google, but
Yeah.
this one it got this darn Safari. I hate Safari, but yeah, it's me.
Okay. I almost reached out to you to see if you was busy, and then I think I saw a premiere you had, which I'll go back and watch to see if you wanted to chime in on this one because I know you travel and y'all do stuff
hmm
that you and Timmy do stuff that requires or tips are expected, should I say? So, what's your take on this?
Well, I was logging in here. What was your question? Okay, so you're talking about the tips that they
tips
automatically
are
put on the
tips are now
receipts.
expected. People aren't really doing anything, or you can just talk about tips in general. Just however you feel about people tipping and people receiving tips, people expecting tips, just whatever
Yeah,
your
I
thoughts are.
so growing up, only because if you've ever worked in the service industry, you tend to be more mindful of when you're tipping and how much you tip.
Mhm.
That was back then where people were actually, trying to provide good customer service. Nowadays, now I'm not saying all, but it's almost like you have to go into certain restaurants if you're expecting that tip type of service. Other than that, they just give you whatever, and then they, like you said, they automatically got 18%, not even 15% no more, 18%, 20%, 25%. And I'm like, well, dang, my meal was only $12. How much you want me to give you? I mean, you didn't have to do much, but bring me some water and a
Yep.
sandwich, and you want all this tipping? I don't know. I
You,
just
you-
I don't mind gratuity. If it's just a matter, if that these tips are their form of payment, then that's fine, but then don't call it a tip. Just add it in the daggone price of the food or something. Don't say it's a gratuity, because to me, gratuity is you're paying somebody for taking special care of you when you were there. I shouldn't have to call you to ask you for ketchup when you know damn well I got a burger. Yeah, I need some ketchup. Now, you may not assume that I may need mayonnaise and mustard, or
right.
some salsa or something, because usually that doesn't go. But if I get a burger, I expect some ketchup. If I get some pancakes and waffles, I expect some syrup. And, if I get a hot dog, I'm expect you to ask me, what do I want on it? But don't bring me a drink and don't bring me a straw. It's just like, I mean, if you're going to bring stuff, make sure you're looking at, okay, if I was eating this, what will I need? That's when you give a person a tip and you pay them, and you do certain things because they're thinking about it. They want to make sure you got extra napkins. They know that if you at the Juicy Crab and your hands are gonna be messy, that you're gonna need more than them little cheap doggone napkins. You need some paper towels. So don't bring me them little itty bitty napkins that dissipate when you touch it with some water. It ain't gonna work. So, it's stuff like that I feel is worth tipping. But nowadays I look and I just go, you lucky if you get $2 depending on the service. Because if I didn't have to call you and you didn't have to do anything, and it wasn't, I mean, I had to remind you of something or whatever, I'm already deducting.
Right. Right.
So that's how I feel about it.
And I don't even start deducting. I'm almost a all or nothing type of guy. I already know. I don't know because I don't even know what the bill is going to be. I haven't calculated, but I know it's going to probably be around 10%, and or it's going to be nothing. And it's to the point now. I think some of these people, like, they are putting the wrong people in places, and they're expecting tips, but like you kind of just said, they don't even know what the service that's supposed to be provided. Like if you go to a nice steakhouse or nice seafood restaurant or something like that, and I'm not talking about a franchise. When I'm talking about where it's just maybe one or two that are owned by a family or a company, but it's not a lot, like Papados, the owner of the Papados, the Pappas brothers. They have Pappas Steakhouse in Dallas. It's the only one I've ever seen. You're going to spend for two people easily 250, 300 bucks.
Well,
But
you said a Papa Steakhouse?
yeah, yeah. Oh, like
So,
Dallas,
okay, these are people who own Papa Do's.
yes. And you know
Oh,
what?
man.
I'm trying to figure out where they came up with Papa Do's because they're Greek. Their name is Papa.
Wait a minute. So they're Greek, but you do know Papa Do's is supposed to be New Orleans style food. So that I got me confused.
Well, I'm about to confuse you even more then, because they have papados. They have a Mexican restaurant called Papacitos, and it is good. They have Papa's Barbecue,
Wait a minute, back up. What's the Mexican restaurant again? Papa what?
Papacitos, P-A,
Papacitos.
yeah.
Like Mamacita, Papacitos.
Just replace the C with an S.
I know you lying.
All right. All right, I'm lying. I'm lying. I'm lying, but I'm not. But I'm telling you. Uh,
Really?
yeah, and I didn't know it until because all you ever hear about is
Papa Do's.
Papado. Yeah. And
I gotta find those restaurants.
oh yeah, you go there. I'm about to. Since you think I'm kidding, I'm about to see if I can see something right here. Here it is, right here. And I'm gonna show and y'all, hey, and just so y'all know, man, when I had these, I may have a topic, but we could talk about whatever, and we're still talking about tips because we're talking about food. And right now, in case y'all just coming in, we're talking about the type of restaurant you go to where you're gonna get the service that warrants a tip, whether you're at the Mexican restaurant or you're at the house. Now, it's not gonna cost $250 to eat here, but if the meal, it used to be, I used to get something good for like 18.95 or 20.95, and it was worth 20.95. I mean, it's probably higher now because I go to on the border and it might be 18.95. I may go to a chain restaurant where this is, and I'm getting ready to share my screen here so I can show Tanya from Event Yours that this is really real. Let me see here.
Yeah, you got to show me because Papa Do's is my favorite happy hour spot after work.
Now
That's
I
my
heard the
spot right there.
drink.
I mean, there's some other places I go, but that right there, man, those drinks, woo, mm-mm-mm.
Okay, that's the menu. I didn't really want. All right, you see it right there.
Ooh, where
That's
they at
good.
though?
Huh?
Where they located?
Let me see if I can find any other locations. Hey, y'all, in case y'all just coming in, this is not a food review. We are
I'm
reviewing.
sorry, I got you all sidetracked,
Oh
off
no, no,
sidetracked.
no! I don't have scripts. I don't have scripts for these. The script is uh, whatever we talking about. I
Okay.
mean, whatever we want to talk about. That's why I created this channel. All right, I see them in Georgia. Oh, they did it say Georgia? Hold up. I know you're in Georgia. Let me just nip this in the bud. Ah, y'all, excuse me, man. I'm over here typing like I'm three. Right here. All right. Now I need to get on all. I need to get off images. Marietta, Georgia. There it is. Now you
Wait
tell
a
man
minute.
to man.
Okay,
Tell you.
wait. You said wait. Which one? Papacito's Canteen. Get the heck. Hold on. Hold on. I'm screenshotting now. Hold on. Leave
Hey,
it
take
right
your
there.
time. Hey,
Leave
y'all,
it
this
right
why we
there.
come to the point where you don't know what you're gonna learn over here. Now, I never,
Okay, I got you.
in my
Ooh, that's what I'm
wildest
talking
dreams,
about.
imagined that I was gonna be talking about papacitos and all that. But hey, there it is. And this restaurant here, I'm gonna try to pull this up if I can. I'm gonna go back to image. I'm gonna try to find. Oh man, let's just see here. I want to find one thing here. I want to show Tanya and everybody one little thing. All right, there. If I can get here. All right, so I don't know what this is, but
Mm-hmm.
and I ain't gonna go through them all the time. You can look at them, but I want y'all to see the side of these shrimps. I hope it show us the picture, not
Oh, those are prawns. That's
yeah.
what
I
that
mean, look
is.
at
I
that.
know you talking about. Yeah, those prawns. Those big. Those look like mini lobster tails.
Yeah, look. I mean, it's well presented and it's good and the service is good. And I mean, so when I go somewhere like this, now just because the service is supposed to be good, and I'm gonna unshare my screen here, just because it's supposed to be good, that doesn't mean we're gonna get a good server. Now, the food could be good, and the service from our server could be terrible. And what I've done in those instances is typically ask the manager to come to the table and hopefully without the server and say, hey, I'm going to put a tip on here, but this is for whoever cooked this food because it's delicious. It's not for the server. Or if I have cash, I'll go up and ask for the manager and ask him where the cook is. I like to meet him and tip him and tell him everything's going on. And I tip him But you're not going to get anything from Rod unless Rod, I don't need you to kiss my butt. I don't need you to run around here sweeping around my feet and dropping rose petals as I walk in. I don't want none of that. I don't even really want you to come to my table more than one time after you came the first time to drop my food out just to see if I need anything else. I don't want you coming over every 2 minutes, which I recently experienced that at a Razoo's, a Cajun place. I just want you to come over and check. And then the look you get, oh boy, I got a story to tell y'all. The look you get when you don't tip them or it's not what they expected, then you feel guilty. And tell you, please chime in. You feel guilty about your money and how much of your money you didn't give away and they ain't done nothing to earn it. I mean, have you ever experienced that, Tanya, where you felt guilty or anything that you didn't?
No,
I
no,
have.
because let me tell you why. Because half of the time when they feel that way is because either somebody lied to them before or they thought that they did wonderful service. Now, I can say this. If I am not going to, like, if I'm already deducting the amount because maybe it's something that they didn't do, I do
Mhm.
give them a lessons learned before I leave. I do say, hey, I just want to let you would have deserved 20%, but I only paid you at 15. And let me tell you why. Because that way they'll know better next time because we are probably assuming that they've been doing this for a while and that they know what to do and that they understand what customer service or the hospitality service is, and they may not. So sometimes you have to let them know so they know better next time so they can get that 20 or 25% versus a deducted tip, based on what's going on. So yeah, they sometimes you just got to let them know.
And I like that, Tanya. And that's I may have to try that. I may may not saying I am. Uh, and usually you'll find women, ladies that will take a more sensible approach where I'm gonna give you a lesson, all right. I'm gonna walk out and I'm not dropping pennies in a glass and all that old school stuff. What I'm gonna do is put a line across the tip diagonally, not an X, just one line, like a backslash or whatever. And you when you look down there and see that, you'll know that hey, I didn't. But I like Tanya's idea because all they don't know from Rod is they know they did something wrong. They don't know what they did wrong. They just know they did something. With Tanya's approach, they know exactly what they did wrong. So even if I put the slash, I think I'm gonna stop. But if I put a slash, that's going to defeat the purpose because they're not going to listen. What I think I'll do is tell them, then I'll put the slash, or maybe just cut it in half or whatever. I'm not going to just because these people are going back to the beginning of this live. They are working for nothing. And what really made me decide to go ahead and do this tonight was I was watching a movie on I ain't gonna tell you what channel, Tubi, but I was watching a movie and the woman said she made $1.25 an hour. She couldn't take care of her daughter on that, and she went to the start dancing, entertaining, whatever you want to call it. And that was so sad. Even though it was a movie, it was sad because it's reality. That really happens. So anyway, just going back to it now, I'm gonna tell y'all one thing I experienced, and then I won't tell you. I don't want to just have her up here. I definitely want to hear anything she got to say. But I experienced it. It was kind of during the cold months. This was a few months ago, and I ordered me a pizza from Papa John's, but I got to go back. Now I had ordered two other pizzas, and the same delivery driver had came both times. First time he came, he had a little speech and everything. He pulled my pizza out the little that little thing to keep it warm. He said, "Hey, here's your pizza. You can go ahead and take that in the house, and I'm gonna go ahead and get the receipt ready for you so you can go ahead and tip." He coached me to the tipping it. And by the time I signed, put the number down, signed, and closed the door, I said, "Man, I think he just got me." Boy, he was smooth. But he came back the next time, he did the same thing, and then this time it bothered me. But when something bothered Rod, I'm gonna take action. I might not take action right then because I was kind of bothered, very bothered. So I didn't want to say anything. I gave him a tip. So he came back the next time, and I think it was sprinkling and it was cold. And he said, same little thing. Hey, you can go ahead and take your pizza in the house. And I said, man, you ain't got to worry about all that because I ain't tipping nothing tonight. He looked at me, y'all. He looked at me like he wanted to hit me in the mouth. And this was an older guy. He was older than I am. Excuse me, and I'm 55. But he looked at me and then he turned around and said, wow, like loud. It was nighttime, so I was the only one, just me and him. Wow. And of course, for a brief second, I got pissed. And he was walking to his car, and my conscience said, I say, sir, hold up, hold up. You know, I'm gonna tell you something. It is cold. It's cold out here. I'm gonna tip you, but I would highly suggest if you come back to my house, don't coach me on the tip. Just give me the pizza. I think I'm old enough to know that I should be tipping you, and that was it. But his reaction was like, wow. It was like beyond disrespectful, and I was just in a state of shock. I couldn't even believe it. So. You ever had anything? Well, Tanya, you say you haven't because you always tip and you explain and all that. Now, Tanya, do you think this whole, let's say you get good service, do you think that, because I know why they did it, do you think the 16% is fair if it's only one person?
16%. No, they ain't got no 16. I seen 15, 18. Well, I don't see 15 no more. I see 18, 20, and 25.
Okay, I meant 18. That's what you're right. I
Oh,
meant
okay.
18. Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen 18 before. So you said what? What's your question?
Do you think that's fair if it's only one person?
I don't think it matters how many people. Now I put it to you this way. It's always optional when it's less than a certain number of people in the eating party. But when it's over a certain number of people, it does require more people to help and get involved because you're talking about one person that might have a party of eight. And if they have a party of eight, if you notice, they'll say gratuity is already added, meaning they're not asking you for tips. They're gonna automatically, and then they got the nerve to say if you want to tip more.
I haven't seen that one yet.
I'm like it, but whenever you're at a table and it's more than three people, always look at your receipt because 98% of the time the gratuity is already included. And a lot of people don't look at the receipt and they end up writing in a whole nother 18, 20, or 25%, not realizing that you already paid 18, 20, or 25%. And most of the time when it's a party like that, it's usually 20% gratuity, 18 or 20 automatically included.
And
So yeah.
that's the point I was making because I think all this putting it on the receipt stuff started, like Tanya was saying, y'all. You know, if you had a party of a certain amount of people, they automatically charged you 18%, 15%, whatever it was back then. And I still didn't like that. In my opinion, if you see a party of eight come in and send two servers over there, I mean, well, it kind of work out because you're going to end up probably tipping two different people anyway. But again, let me and my party make that decision. Don't automatically, or at least come over and say, how was the service? And if the crowd says, oh, it was great, superb, whatever, then okay, we have a good reason to ask for 18%. But well, it took a little long to get to water, and her food was cold, and he got the wrong drink. And then when the manager heard this, take this 18% off this receipt. Let them tell what they want because my worry wouldn't be the little 18% I'm getting from this one customer. My worry would be word of mouth. Because all they take is Rod and Tanya, and I ain't gonna say Tanya, Rod and Billy and Bobby to go and tell six more people how this place here has some terrible service. They want to charge you money. And next
Yep.
thing you know, my friends may not go.
That's right. But you know what? But that's another form of good customer service. It's the same thing like in the hospitals. People go to the patient when we make leader rounds and stuff, and we're asked the family members and the patients that's in there, is there, how's your stay going? How's the care? Did your nurse explain everything to you? How's the physician? Were they informative? Did they answer your questions? Is there anything that Is there anything that you're dissatisfied with? Anything that we can help, you know, correct before, you're discharged, blah, blah, blah. So that's the whole thing about the leader rounds, is to sort of do that check, which is, if you notice in some restaurants, you'll get the managers or the lead, from the host lead, and they'll walk around and they'll go, "Hey, good evening, everybody. I'm whoever. I'm just checking in to see how everything's going. Is everything going okay?" And they do that, especially when it's busy, because the waiters and the waitresses are just, they're busy trying to get your food together. They would love to give you some special time and to say certain things, but a lot of times they just trying to remember stuff,
Mhm.
on what to do, what to get, and who said this. But my thing is, that's why you need a daggone paper and pen, or put it on record or something. They be trying to remember stuff in their head. I'm like, this ain't a competition. I don't care how you remember what my order was. Just get right.
And you're right, Tanya. And I never thought about that because I think that's part. The servers think that's part of impressing the customer and getting a better tip. I agree. I don't care if you memorize. I could right now, and I prove it to y'all. I'm not. I could say my ABCs backwards, and most people say, "Wow, you can do that." I said, "Yeah, man," and I have a reason why I learned how to do it, but I'm not impressing the whole world by saying it, and then nobody's tipping me for that. I can tell you. So just because you memorize now, if you got his wrong and her stuff wrong, then you have to know that the tip is dwindling, like Tanya say. And most people are like this; they'll start subtracting as they go. You have to know if you keep doing this, you're gonna be ended up at maybe $1 when you could have got 7. Just saying. So it's just so. Now I'll tell you another thing, probably more than it being on a receipt beforehand. I can't stand when I go to say Panda Express. I'm just using them. And I don't think they do it. We'll just say a Subway shop, a sub sandwich shop, and they're at the counter. They hand me my bag with my sandwich, my chips, and my drink. And the receipt, it's not them, it's the receipt going to say total, subtotal, tip, total. And we both have stood at the counter and done nothing, looking at each other. And you're not getting no tip from Rob for doing that. Or you go to Starbucks and they turn the machine. Now, if you go over there and impress, you want to impress me and get a tip at Starbucks, go over there and shake a tree and get some coffee, or wherever the coffee beans come from, grind them up in a grinder, and then come in with a whole 12-pound bag of sugar, and then get a cow and squeeze a cow with some milk, and then I'll probably be tipping in, but just because you shaking and pressing buttons, what am I tipping you for? I mean,
That's true. That's
what have
true.
you done? I'm not tipping the people at Walmart when I ask them, "Hey, man, if it get to this, I'm done. Hey, where can I find the tissue? Oh, it's on aisle 14." And then aren't you going to tip me? Hell no. Just because you tell
Oh
me,
no.
but it's the same thing. So
No. Mm-mm. Even the little package boy don't get. They don't get tipped no more either.
yeah, and they just, I mean, that's your job, man. That's the job that uh, um you apply for the job.
Yeah, well, most people don't aspire to be a waiter or a waitress. They may aspire to go into the food industry, and then that's just their way of,
Mhm.
getting to understand different aspects of it while they're moving up, and I get it. But nobody aspires to be a waiter or a waitress. Now they may aspire to be a hostess because they just want to look cute up at the front,
Mhm.
just to welcome in people and walk them to the table or whatever. They don't want to wait tables, but I don't think no one's busting down the door to go wait on tables.
And I agree. I agree. I know my brother made his oldest son get a job in the food industry as a waiter, and he told him this will probably be the toughest job you'll ever have because you're going to deal with so many different people, so many different attitudes. You can be doing everything a person could ever desire, and they'll be mad at the world, so they'll take it out on you. And I think it worked out well. But you're right, as far as the aspiration of wanting to be a waiter or a waitress. Now, there are some jobs that I'll say bartending, especially if you're making the drinks right, or the person that got feeling really super duper good. A bartender, you can make some pretty good tips. I've seen people, and I've had some bartenders that are dope. I had a bartender in San Diego, man. This dude, I never saw him make. This is the bartender. This is not the server. This is the bartender. I went there every Friday, and I'll be honest with y'all. It was a place where there wasn't a lot of African Americans that went in there. It was more other races, but it wasn't just Caucasians. It was everything but African Americans. And I went in there one time. And this guy acted like I was lost. He was like, "Hey, they have great food here, buddy." I'm like, "Really? Okay. You ever been here before?" I said, "Yeah, a couple times." And he just looked like I was in the wrong place. So the bartender came up to me, "Hey, Rod, how you doing?" Shook my hand. Um, oh, I forgot to tell you, it was a reserve sign at the chair I was in because I had called ahead, told him I'd be up there. Can you reserve me? Because there's only like 7 chairs at the bar. He said, "The usual." I said, "Oh, yeah. Double Remy Martin on the rocks, a little splash of Coke." 20 minutes later, I want garlic bread as an appetizer. 25 minutes, 30 minutes after that, I'm going to get the cinque formaggi with chicken, which is a 5 cheese Alfredo with chicken. That's basically all it was. But I didn't have to say nothing. All I had to do was sit down and bam, 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 bam. This is the bartender. And the guy that's sitting next to him said, "Well, dear, I guess he has been here before." And I just looked, but that guy, every time I left, it was a minimum, a minimum. And now, if I did all that eating, it could have been a $30 tip, $35 tip, $40 tip. It just depended on how much money I was spending. But he wasn't gonna get no. I wasn't gonna calculate 10%, 12%, 15%, because the dude took care of me each and every time I went in. And I don't know, Tanya, Louis the 13th. This was in the early
Oh yeah.
2000s.
Uh-huh.
This was the early 2000s, so it wasn't the price it is today, which I can't even imagine.
I don't know what was the price then. Because the
It
last
was a
time
hundred.
the
I'll
last
never
time I
forget,
tasted
y'all.
it was
It was
3-4 years ago.
$152 a shot.
Yeah, that's pretty much, and that shot was 1 ounces,
Well,
not
my
two.
bartender, who knew how to give good service, did not use a shot glass, and I guarantee you, I got probably 2.5 shots of $152 shot cognac, Louis the 13th.
Okay.
And but it was reciprocal. I appreciated the service he was giving me. He appreciated that I recognized the service he was giving me. And because I recognize his efforts, this man, you don't owe me that. He said, "Matter of fact, I don't even want you tipping me for this. This is just me showing you my gratitude that you look at me as more than a guy behind the bar." Just saying, y'all.
Well, also, if you tip them enough, you've pretty much paid for whatever extra they give you anyway. So I've also seen that too.
True, true. So, what's the wildest thing you've seen with Tiffany, Tanya? And I ain't trying to get in your business, have everybody in your business. Have you ever, have you ever tipped and then left and said, "Man, maybe I over tipped," and not you got great service, but you like just tipped a crazy amount?
Let me see. When I would say I've tipped the most, I think I tipped the most. It was definitely while drinking. It was definitely while drinking. I'm trying to remember where was I? Where was I? Um, because I got to remember where I was so I could tell you the exact story. Because I usually tip very well at the bar, especially if you're making it right.
Mhm,
Um, I would say at a resort, like all inclusive.
mhm,
Um, I've usually tipped the most there. Like if I'm there for like 4 days, 4 or 5 days, and
mhm,
that's bartender, lookouts for me every single time. Now, mind you, the drinks are already paid for, right? So it ain't
Right.
really like they got to do anything spectacular. But if they can get the drink right, I don't have to wait for my drink. No matter how crowded it is, they're gonna make sure I have what I need. Then I'll pay. And I think I tipped them, but after like I would think say maybe that was like $40 a day, 40 or $50 US dollars a day,
Mm-hmm.
which was more than enough in their money.
Mm-hmm.
And so being there for 4 or 5 days, they had a good, nice little tip. So, and they were happy about it. Now, this is now, and this was in, let me see, where was we? Jamaica. So, in Jamaica, so we had a cabana, and that waitress was, she was just piss poor. She was just standing there, and we're like, can we have some water? And then she huffing and puffing and stuff. And then she walk away all slow. And then she come back with one thing of water. And I'm like, it's a cabana. It's five of us here. So it's like, then she's like, and then she goes back, she gets the five waters. She bring it back. Now, mind you, of course, the water's in the water bottle, so it's wet and everything. Usually people will wipe it off or, come back with a little towel or paper towel, something on it before you sit it down. She just went and just laid it on the cabana bed. I'm like, okay, this one don't want to do nothing. So when she couldn't go and get our drinks, we started just walking over to the bar, which was, maybe about two beds away.
Mm-hmm.
And we went to him and got our drinks. And so when it was time to leave, we usually, because we'll tip like the day before we leave. Um, when it came time to tip, he was the one that got that $50 a day tip, not her.
Right. God.
So she got mad. I mean, literally, she was mad and furious because when we gave him the tip, he ringing the bell and everything, and he making a big deal, and he's like, "Oh yeah, yeah, yeah." And then she came up there and she was looking. I guess she said something in their language, and he was like, "No, no, no, no. You didn't provide good service." I made sure I understood that part of what he told her. And
Mm.
she was mad and she was cussing in her language. I know she was. And he was like, yeah, see, that's why. That's why. I guess because she, regardless of who she was in front of, she was cussing. And yeah, she was mad though, boy. She rolled her eyes so hard and she was standing there looking at me and looking at my cousin like, where's hers? You're not getting anything. Not one dime. You're not getting anything. So hopefully whatever money you got out of us renting that cabana, that's what you gonna get.
And see and that's what I wonder. I really wonder. And we know they're gonna go home mad, but I
Hmm.
wonder how many people go home and think about it and say, "Man, I really, I need to change me and how I
Mm.
approach." Because, like you said, walking off slow and no,
Yeah.
what are you expecting?
Right. I mean, her attitude was really like, I don't want to be here. Literally, like you can see it. It was in her body language, it was in her demeanor. She didn't greet anybody. She was just standing there. And I'm like, you know what? No. Mm-mm. If this isn't for you, you need to be someplace else. Go work inside the restaurant if it's too hot out here for you. Whatever it is. But sure enough, she had an attitude, and she was the same heifer at the cabana every time because we had the same cabana the whole week, and she ain't do a thing. And I was like, no. And we got to get up to go get our drinks. Kick rocks. You're not getting no goddamn tip.
And that's what makes me mad is when I like if I'm having dinner and I quit drinking, but when I was drinking and I had to get up and go to the bar and get my own drink, boy. I mean, what do I sometimes do it because I get it quicker, but I mean, it just made no sense. Hey, TJ said I tip more on vacation outside of the US compared to being in the US. And then he went on to leave another comment. We got Why Loves to Motivate just came in, part of the PBN, the Points Play Network team. Good evening, Rod and chat. Thank you so much.
Hey, everybody.
And TJ said, workers in foreign countries seem to work harder for their tips. Yes, and I agree that workers in foreign countries, they appreciate anything that they get extra over and above and beyond their salary. That's just my experience with being overseas, and I've been all over the world. They appreciate it here, where they appreciate in America. It seems like it's just has become an expectation. I don't even know if there's I mean, it's been times I've been tipped and I don't even think I heard thank you. I mean,
That
it's
is
too late.
true. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I can't say give me my money back. I can, but I ain't gonna look that cheap. But you know, no, I ain't gonna lie, man. I came from Arkansas, y'all. And when I grew up, we didn't tip in Arkansas. Now, when I was growing up, they do now. But when I was growing up, we didn't. I didn't go any place to tip. And when I first got to California, I used to look for reasons for people to mess up, so I ain't have to tip them. I ain't gonna lie, man. So you got me not making a lot of money in the Navy and trying to ball on a budget, and I'm over here. I only got 3 cubes of ice. I should have got at least 6. I ain't tipping them. You know, it was stupid, but that's what I did. And what I love to motivate said, and tell you, if I'm in the middle of something, please feel free to jump in here and just say whatever. My last
Okay.
nail shop visit was horrible. Young boy who did my pedicure didn't do it correctly. A lady came and fixed his mistake, so I gave her a higher tip, but gave him $2. He really didn't earn it. And that leads to another question, and that's a great point. Now, it goes back to what I was talking about earlier. I wonder that why loves to motivate feel guilty and just tip them something. He didn't do, well, he did do some work, but he didn't do it correctly. So, in my opinion, if he did his job and didn't do it correctly, then he should get what his job is going to give him, his salary, and the tip that I was going to give him if he did it correctly. He's not getting that if he didn't do it correctly. And first of all, I probably wouldn't have gave the other person either, because somebody had to train him. Somebody should have trained him. So who decided he was ready to be on his own? I mean, it's so many questions that come up. But like right here, I gave him $2, and I think that's where the look we get when we don't tip, or in this case, tip somebody else because they did better or they had to come save the day. The look that we get from the original person is just, man, I hate it, because I be feeling bad, and I'm one of them kind of
Well,
people. I'm
well,
sorry.
what about the folks who look at you, judge you already, and assume you're not going to tip, so they don't provide you good service?
Woo, I didn't even think about that, Tony. Man, is that what be happening to me? Because sometimes I go and eat and I might not have the best stuff on.
And you know what? Let me tell you something. It's funny because you get certain races of people who assume that they're gonna do something, and there's a lot of races who do not tip at all. You ain't getting no tip.
Mm-hmm.
But
Well, I
then
love
they look at
motivation to
some
say it.
races and assume that they not, because they
Mhm.
assume you don't have the money to do so. And and then they don't provide you the service. To be like, okay, well, that's fine. Look, you ain't got to make me feel bad about not spending my money.
And that's how I am. Like, if you come over and tell me I ain't got to tip you, and I think you serious, all right, bet I ain't gonna tip you. But I'm sure before I hit the door, my conscience will probably get to me. TJ says, as Americans as a whole are spoiled, they think tips are automatic and give you a look when you don't. I'm not tipping you for making my sandwich. That's your job. And this is another person that was in the military. You know, how I just think of some of the jobs that are out there, and I could call out 2 jobs right now. They're not asking for any tips, but you know, it's so many jobs out there where you could tip. Just who I know who it's probably some people way back when in the royal family, or some royal family that decided this was what we're gonna do. Because I think about it, I don't know, they get paid more than people working in restaurants, but what about a nurse They come in your room and draw your blood or make sure your water filled. I ain't tipping them. And they ain't got to come in there 18 times. They only got so many times they got to come in there per shift.
They don't need no tip.
Yeah, I ain't tipping
Trust
you.
me, they get
Well,
paid
but
more
they
than
doing more
enough
than
right
some of these
now.
people that get tips, telling you.
Well, that's true. That is true.
Teachers, what if a teacher, not because she's teaching the whole class, but what if a teacher take your son or daughter or your nephew or niece to the side and give them extra time because they want this student to succeed? They don't have to. It's not in their job assignment or description. They're just doing it because they want to see this young man or young woman move on with his or her peers. Ain't nobody tipping them. I know somebody out there saying, Rod, that's far-fetched. Rod, that's a little, in my opinion, just because you're making sandwiches or burgers or bringing steaks out, who decided that was going to warrant a tip anyway? I mean, that just makes, and while us motivate said, say that, Tanya. And that's why I was love when I was going to reach out, like I said earlier, to Tanya, and I didn't because I figured she was big. I know she's doing lives and premieres earlier in the week. So thank goodness she came up here. In Arizona, they make you feel like you have to tip them. And I think that, do they do that in Georgia, Tanya?
No, I mean, like I said, it depends on
Where
where
you
you
go?
are. You get some that assume, and you
Hmm.
get some. It depends on where you're going to eat. Depends on where you're going to drink.
And
You can
I want,
tell. You can tell which ones get tipped and which ones have a problem with people tipping.
mm,
So, but let me ask you this: what are your thoughts about tipping to go food?
oh, no, no, no. For what? You cooked it. That's your job. No.
That's my point. But that's the thing. They to go, and then they want you to tip them when you check out.
And I'm gonna go back on something you said about the expect. If we look at certain, I'm gonna hit that in a minute. But I want to say this here before I forget it. You know, like to go food. If I am walking into, now I'll tell you something that happened, boy, and this blew my mind. And I'm gonna say the name of the place that it happened at, because I don't know if they're still doing it, but y'all need to look on your receipts. So your boy went to Saltgrass.
What's
Yeah,
that?
yeah, Saltgrass. It's a. I think Saltgrass or the other place, Outback. No, it was Saltgrass because Outback we did was Saltgrass. It's a steakhouse in Texas,
Oh, okay.
and it's a chain though. It's not like something.
Oh, this isn't like a high.
No,
This
no,
isn't a high. This is like an Outback Longhorn
yeah, yeah,
type. Okay, okay,
exactly.
got you. Okay.
So I go there and I knew what I ordered, and I'm pretty good with math, and I know what the tax is, and I'm ready to tip, but I'm like, wait a minute, this is too high. So I'm looking because I thought they had already included the tip, but they hadn't. Y'all, brace, brace for shock. This really happened, and it happened during the 2020 when everybody know when everybody was stuck in the house. This is when this happened.
Okay.
They had a to-go charge on the damn receipt. A to-go
Wait a
charge.
minute. Wait. So so they just labeled it as to go because you couldn't eat inside. So that was gonna
You
help. That
could
was
eat.
gonna. So
You
that
could
was gonna
eat.
help.
You could eat in
So
there, Tanya.
so you could eat in there, but why they charge you? Then that means whoever rung it up, I guess it was still in COVID mode on the cash register.
I'm gonna tell you what it was. That place, and it was around lunchtime. During lunch, they're usually pretty packed or at least busy. But everybody wasn't going to work, so you're not going to have your normal lunch crowd. The people that were at work was afraid to be around a lot of people. So while there were people eating in the restaurant, it wasn't the normal crowd or the normal amount. So in Rod's opinion, I'm listening. I witnessed that, and boy, I went ballistic. I was like, "Hey man, where your manager at? I ain't gonna talk to you because I know you didn't do this." It was a young lady, and she looked scared. I guess she hadn't had nobody that noticed it. And I said, man, what in the hell is this? What is a to-go truck? I said, this is robbery. Well, it's something a lot of restaurants do. I said, well, it's amazing. You the only one I've seen do it. And he said, well, this is how the waitress is going to get paid, above her salary, basically letting me know this is how they're using this charge to tip their servers. Because if I got X amount of servers on deck, but I only got so many or so few customers, everybody ain't gonna get a customer. So they came up with this crap. I said, well, he said, so would you want to be responsible for this young lady not getting a tip? I said, no, you're going to be responsible for her not getting a tip because you came up with the idea. And if y'all set up like you pay her, I'm about to leave. And you should feel bad that you're even doing this. And I walked out.
Oh my gosh.
And the man, and I looked back and he pulled out the amount and gave it to her in cash. He didn't pull out the change. I think he rounded it up to like a 5 or something. It was like 3 and some change. But I said, man, this is crazy. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, tip jar on the counter. Yeah, I mean, they be killing me. Tip jar on the counter at a place and they ain't left behind the register. Get out of here, man. Get out of here. So what are your thoughts on to go, Tanya? Your for real thoughts. If you go to a to go place.
No, when I go to a to go place, I'm just gonna be honest. You only getting $2 from me. I'm just being honest. You're only getting $2 from me, and that's just for making sure I didn't wait a long time for my order to be ready. That's it. Like if I go get some Chinese food, if I go and get some Outback to go or Longhorn to go, I'm not writing up a tip when I'm taking it out. You're not serving me. Now I don't know about the cooks in the back. Okay, I don't know. It might be like the cruise ships. I don't know. Are they getting paid a salary? My guess would be yes. That they are getting probably a salary or a set amount of whatever. I don't know. I'm not in the hospitality industry, but I can tell you that I don't tip them like I would if I was sitting down there eating. If I'm getting anything to go, you're not serving me. And then what makes it even worse, half of the time they forgot something in there. They didn't give you any eatware. They didn't give you the butter. They forgot the salad dressing. They forgot napkins. They forgot, the extra sauce you wanted on the side, or they gave you broccoli instead of Brussels sprouts or whatever. So all that type of stuff still happens with to go, and it's the same thing with Uber Eats. I order Uber Eats. I clearly have a sign, not a sign, but a note in the app that says, please place food on the table and ring the bell. Folks
Mm,
will put the food on the ground. And I'm like, see, no. Matter of fact, you get 1 star because they won't let you leave no star. You get 1 star and you get no tip. I will go in there and I will remove the tip. And I always with Uber Eats, I always tip them at least 18% because they're driving and they're getting out their cars and all that type of stuff. I
mhm,
will quickly go in there and say 0.
mm.
And then I will put in there why. Because you left my food on the floor, which means you didn't follow instructions.
Yeah, it's like these people that's supposed to be ringing doorbells and got allergic to doorbells. And what I mean by that, like the UPS man might ring your doorbell, the FedEx man might not, the Amazon people definitely won't. The Uber Eats people ain't even ringing the doorbell. They putting your food on the ground. I saw a movie, I think they left it outside a whole business, and they doing
No,
this for real. It's like, man, but I saw a movie. Speaking of movies, not recently, because I've been on a movie tip, but I saw a movie or something where this guy put a bunch of ones on the table at the beginning and told the server, and it was an older movie. This was like last year, that this is your tip. This is what we're starting with. And hopefully this is what we finish with.
yep, yep. I have friends who do that too.
I
They'll
think I'm
put
gonna
the
try
tip
that.
on the
That's gonna
table.
be
They'll put the
hungry.
tip on the table in the beginning, and every time they got to ask for something again or wait for something, they take some money off.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that, man. But then, I don't know. That might have been cool when I saw this in 1990, whatever year it was. But then if they go back there and jack, well, now we're gonna do this after I get my food. We ain't gonna do this at the beginning because they'll be to mess my food up and say, okay, we both playing games or something. He want to play a game, we gonna play a game. But this is a good one for you, Tony, because I know y'all travel more than I do. What about tipping the cleaning lady at the hotel from White Loves to Motivate? What are your thoughts on that?
It depends on, well, as you probably know, that in some hotels you have to pay already for them to come clean your room. Ever since after COVID, so they only let people come in there if you want to. So now it's optional. So the option is, the default is your room don't get clean. But if you want your room clean, they'll be adding a cleaning fee to your bill to your room anyway. And I think it's like five, $10 or $15 or something like that. If I, each hotel is something different. So um if it is a hotel where they come to clean or whatever, I'm not the type that need my room cleaned every day unless I'm at a resort. Like if I'm
Mhm,
at a resort or if I'm on a cruise ship, chances are I am going to need the room cleaned because I'm either tracking, wet
mhm,
clothes in there or sand or, something where, especially more so the bathroom, if anything. It's not really the bed area or whatever, but it's mainly really like the bathroom.
mhm.
Um, but um, I do tip at hotels, resorts, and on cruise ships for housekeeping. I do. Because they are, helping you, making sure that you're replenished with whatever. And it also depends on how long I'm staying. If I'm staying from Friday to Sunday, I don't need my room clean. I usually tell them, look, give me three washcloths and three towels per person, please, from the very beginning, because that's really all I need you to do. I don't need you to make the bed up. I know how to pull the covers up and leave the room and come back. I don't need them to clean my room. I check out and they gets nothing. But if I'm there for more than 2 days, 2 nights, then yes, I do tip. And I'll most likely, it depends on what kind of room it is. Now, you live in the suite is different from if you in a regular hotel room, or if you're in a one bedroom hotel room or something like that, then that depends. But I'll tip anywhere from $20 a day on up, depending on how much of space they have to clean up and what they're cleaning up.
See, I knew Tanya was gonna say she took, cause she tipped it to the. This is a tongue twister. The two go people $2. I ain't tipping them
That's right.
nothing.
I'm not tipping them anything. And I don't feel bad about it because I am a tipper, but I'm a tip you when I know that you're doing out something outside of what you should be doing. Now if you give me my to-go order and you got it, I actually ordered curbside, and if I didn't have to come in there and my app says it's gonna be ready at 7:30 and I show up at 7:30 and you are out there in less than 5 minutes, then we good. I may give you a tip, and especially if the order's right. But if I got to sit outside and it's 15, 20 minutes went by, now I got to go inside, find out and ask about my to-go food, you ain't getting a dime. No.
Mm. And that's kind of how I am. I mean, it. I just think at the end of the day, we need to have a revamp. It'll never happen. This is just Rod thinking out loud because this whole tipping thing to me is out of control. And I look at the places we go and the expectations of tipping is so ridiculous. Where you got people, in my opinion, it may take them 2 years, 4 years, it may take them 2 months that don't even understand the meaning, like Tanya said at the very beginning when she came on, of customer service. You gotta have, if you're gonna be in customer service, then be good at customer service. You can't just go in there and act your normal self or yelling across the restaurant and bringing all this attention on me and expecting to get a tip. It just don't make sense. It don't make sense to me, and I just can't do it, man. But I salute the business, whoever came up with this, and I know probably when it was initially created, it was just a show of gratitude of thanks for good service. But I really believe the reason that tipping is so out of control, and I'm wondering, are the minimum or the salary portion of a server's pay, are they going up with cost of living, or are they still $1.25, or do they go up to $1.50, $1.75? Because it's so expensive now. You understand. I can halfway understand why the attitudes come up when people don't get tipped, because now I am looking at that. If I make $1.50 an hour, I am looking at that $12 a day times I'm working 6 days this week. At the end, if that's all I get, then I'm looking at $72 for a whole week of work if I don't get any tips. I mean, that, so hell yeah, I'm gonna have all kind of attitudes.
Yeah, that's right. And that's why some of them act the way they do. But that's the reason why. Well, I put it to you this way: they have to understand that if you want that type of money, then you got to go work in those type of places, those restaurants. And if you're gonna work in those type of restaurants, you're gonna have to leave your attitude at the door,
Mhm.
because in those types of places, like Frankie's and the Sinatra Lounge and Chops and all them other type of places, those people are there. They're very subservient,
Mhm.
and they have people standing there watching you. So if your water get too low, as soon as you turn around to wipe your mouth and turn around, that water filled back up. You drop a fork on the floor. Next thing you know, they done picked it up and got you a new fork before you even had to ask for it. So they're expecting that type of tip. You know what I mean? So yeah.
And I want to thank, we got my main man. The other half of, well, I don't even know if I'm gonna say it anyway. The other half of Event Yours, and not the
So
husband part of it, but the YouTube channel. He's also Tanya's husband. And I was talking about the YouTube channel because I know Tanya want all the credit. They'll never want to give Pretty Timmy no credit.
that is, ooh, don't you know what? See, look, you know what? See, you sound like I
And
don't
what?
know why for yeah, Anwar be saying that, talking about it's really Timmy channel. Do understand this. The channel would be nothing without both of us, and it would be nothing without him.
I agree.
We
I like
come
when
we
he came
come
on board
together.
because he brought so much humor. I mean, you funny too now, don't? But it's just double humor now. But we got Pretty Timmy said, "What's good? Hello to everyone in the chat." Then he said, "Sorry for being late, but on time." I like that because you're on time. Ain't no such thing as being late, man. People show up here. I don't care if it's the last 30 seconds. I'm just happy that people showed up. And I haven't done a real talk around on here in a while, so I didn't expect a large crowd. Hopefully, the replay. But as people see that we're grinding back up, then hopefully the crowds will get back where they used to be. But I kind of like when it's like this and intimate because I can get to the questions and the responses quicker or the comments quicker. So I'm gonna go over a couple more things, and then I've got a couple things I want to share with Tanya and everyone that's in the live as we were talking about the Pappas brothers. But at the end of the day, I do want to say for anyone that's working in the hospitality industry, and you get the majority of your pay is tips. I've been there. The majority of my pay was commission. Even to this day, when I walk into a business, I will ask if it's a sales place. I ain't talking about a restaurant, but if it's a place that's selling something, motorcycle dealership, furniture, obviously a car dealership. Uh, I was at a Reebok outlet. Hey, can you guys get paid on commission? If they say yes, then I'm gonna make sure. I'm not gonna tell them I want a certain service, but if I don't buy anything that day, I go back. I'm gonna get their name.
Hmm.
And when I go back, because I know this is how they're going to get paid, especially if they gave me good service and I didn't buy anything, because I know what it's like to feel you've been with a customer 2 hours showing them a car and they tell you, let them go, let me go home and think about it. You feel defeated. You feel deflated, defeated, crushed because you spent 2 hours and you got nothing. Now, there is no minimum wage in the car industry. You just don't get nothing.
But you know what? I don't know, but I sort of also blame that on the car industry. Let me
Mhm.
tell you why. Because if they just had more straight upfront pricing, it is what it is. And all you got to do is come in, and all you waiting for is either to get approved or you bring in your own cash to pay for it. You can walk in and say, hey, this is what I want. I checked online. This is how much the car is. It gave me some options on what some of the the financing options are. Hey, I want to buy this. Then can we work something out? Because I ain't got time to be standing in there all day. If there's a way for people to do that, then it'll be less for the salespeople to be have to deal with people and they going, well, I don't know. Let people shop online. And if people want to shop in person, then guess what they can do? They can easily get them some students and let them students show people the cars. And for people that's just window shopping, be like, look, lady, I'm trying to make me my money. Ain't nobody trying to, ain't got time to be sitting here with you while you window shop. Are you serious about buying this vehicle? Because if you not, I can just go on and give you the old boy over here and let him deal with you while I go over here with the people that look like they ready to buy something.
Mhm.
So I just think that, when CarMax came, it just took the wind, the sales out of a lot of the car dealerships because CarMax was like, you buy your car online. Here you go, here you go. Okay, yeah, you approve. Come on in. Let's confirm everything. And you walk out the door with your key.
Yeah, and I noticed Drive Time is doing that too now. But I will tell you something about CarMax. On the flip side, they kind of jacked it up a little bit because they went to that no negotiations. They went to whatever you see as the price is the price is the price, and they
Uh-huh.
marked it down to the bare minimum. And their salespeople weren't making as much money as normal dealerships because of the negotiations. There's a rule in the car business: you want to
Yeah.
sell the least amount of car for the most amount of money. The
Uh,
least amount of car for the most amount of money. So if everybody got a set price and we only marking it up X amount of hundreds of dollars or maybe $1,000, it's not going to be much money in there. But if we got it marked up 6,000 and you're able to save four of the 6,000, you're gonna make more commission. So a lot of people wouldn't stay at CarMax long and would go to regular dealerships because they had a better opportunity for pay wise. But
mm,
you bring up a great point with that. Um, and anybody like Tanya said a few times, I've said a few times, if you are in the um, hospitality industry, and I say it all the time on PBT, become a master of your craft. You know, be the best at whatever you do. My mom always told me, if you're gonna be a ditch digger, you be the best ditch digger they ever created. And that's how it is. If you go work in a restaurant, you go in there, put your game face on. I'm not gonna say go do what people do. Go party, go do whatever. But when it's time to go to work, put your game face on and make your money because that's how you make your money. While I was motivated, so I went to eat, sat at the counter, had my book in hand to read. The waitress understood the assignment. She provided great service without constantly bothering me. Yes. And that's when you know you got a good person. Like I can't stand, and I tell you, I want to see if, and Pretty Tim is in here, if y'all ever express this. I can't, I'm sure you have. I can't stand when I'm out with my lady, we talking and having lunch, dinner, whatever. I don't care if we at McDonald's or, well, it ain't gonna happen. I don't care what kind of restaurant we at. If you see us talking, wait a moment. See if there is possibly a break before you come over and say, "Do we need anything?" Don't just not pay attention. Come over and we're in the middle. Who you don't even know what we're talking about. You guys need anything? Don't even say excuse me or anything. Have you ever
right.
experienced that?
Yes, 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 yes. Very, very
Ooh.
much. And it's like, look, can you, we good. We good. Like, no, we don't need anything. And so that's when sometimes people are just doing it just to do it.
Mhm.
There's a time for it. I mean, yes, you bought the food. We said the food was good, and that's fine. Now, does it happen often? No. But does it or has it happened? Yes. Then it's like, okay, we talking. What do and they always seem to do it if we happen to be like in a real intense conversation. Then they would like, yes, we're fine, thank you. That's
Yep.
it. That's it. We'll let you know when we need something.
Yeah. I can't stand it. And then when it's time to pay and go, you can't find them. But I got a trick for that.
Look,
When you bring my stuff out, hey, can I go ahead and get a ticket? Hey, you gonna want anything else? You gonna want some dessert or something else to drink? Because if not, go ahead and bring my receipt, my check. I bring around the check out here. That way, when I'm done, I'm signing and I'm bouncing. I ain't got to wait on you no more because I already got everything I need to leave. But yeah, like Timmy say, they do it to expect a better tip. And like you say, Tanya, they are. It's always at the wrong time. Uh-oh, my battery flashed. I knew that was gonna happen. Yep, I went 22. Tell you, I'm gonna just put my avatar, but I'm gonna keep talking. Matter of fact, uh, and let me say this here real quick. Why Loves Motivate said, Pretty Timmy, hello and welcome in. Pretty Timmy said they're trying to get a bigger tip. Um, Tell you, whatever you want to say, I'm gonna still be here. I'm just gonna put my avatar and change his battery, uh, and then we'll go from there. So if you got something you want to add about tipping or car buying or whatever you want to talk about, food, I don't care what you talk about. I messed it up,
well,
y'all.
let
I
me
wasn't
see.
trying to do that. Man, that done took me all the way off the screen. And
Look. I wish I had my laptop up and I could see the chat, but I can't see the chat from my phone.
it's just everything. We at the bottom and everything that I've read.
Oh, I see it. Never mind. I see it now. I see it now.
Yeah, if you see anything that you want to elaborate on, go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be in this shortly.
So let me ask y'all this: has there ever been a situation where you were asked to tip when normally you wouldn't have thought that you would have had to tip at all?
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. Man, I'm thinking. I'm quiet because I'm thinking. Uh, man. Well, it happened to me
Well,
when I first went to California from Arkansas. Where everywhere I went, I thought I shouldn't be tipping because we didn't do that in Arkansas. But um, I'm trying to think. Mm, I don't think I can't say I have. Don't be surprised
hmm.
if I call you and Pretty Timmy and say, "Hey, I finally thought of something," and it'll be 5 days from now. Because I don't think I have. I think now I kind of, at least for now, I have it down where I know where people are gonna expect a tip, and I should be tipping.
So while the TJ said it's the people trying to make the boss happy as well. Happy customers come back. Oh, and I know there's two TJs in the chat. TJ Destinations. I'm talking about my husband, TJ. Y'all the ones call him Timmy. I don't call him Timmy. He's TJ to me.
Yeah, I've
Um,
heard you say that, and I said, well,
yeah, I just want to be clear.
yeah, I've heard
Just
you
make
say it on
sure.
here. I knew who you was talking about. I'm
Um,
glad you
Let me
separated.
see. Wyla said, "Don't expect me to tip. Yes, at the nail shop, Arizona is special. Don't ask me or I won't tip." What you mean, Wyla? You don't tip when they do your nails?
No, she said if they ask, like out in Arizona, and she was
Oh, you mean if they ask to tip? Oh, okay, got you. Yeah,
asking
yeah, yeah.
for a tip, like, aren't you gonna tip me? You know,
Well,
and
do
I
they
had two
really? I mean,
words.
do they really say that? Now, I've known some like when it's time for you to pay. They'll go, would you like to leave a tip? Because I guess they got to go through a certain screen or whatever. And if the answer is no, then they just do whatever. Because I noticed on some of them they'll add the tip to the total, and then in some of them you add the tip on the tip feature. on the actual little iPad or point of service that they used, I guess. So I don't know, but yeah,
And
that's Wilo said that's asking.
yeah, I saw that. I was about to pull it up. She said, "That's asking, laugh out
Okay,
loud."
so okay, Wilo. So let me ask you this: so if they're going from screen to screen, and the screen actually says, "Do you want to leave a tip?" and all they doing is showing you the screen to say, "Do you want to leave a tip?" so they know whether to hit next or they need to hit the dollar signs. If they go up there and just ring you up and don't do the tip on the screen, what if you weren't gonna tip in cash? What if you was gonna tip, with the total from if you was using your card or something? Then they'll be like, oh, now they gotta ring up a whole nother point of sale, I mean.
Yeah,
So how are they gonna know whether to go to the next screen or not? Because not everybody tips in cash. Some people tip like adding it on to their total though.
yeah. I never tip in cash. I always do it on a credit card. It don't hurt me as much.
You
And why?
said,
Let me
oh,
read
they
this.
tax tips. They are
Mhm.
trying to skip paying taxes on their tips. Oh, is that what that is?
I know they do that here
Oh,
at least one location. Uh, one person was telling me, a young lady was telling me that I don't know if they tax them, but if you tip in cash, they get to take that cash home. If you tip with a credit card, they don't get that tip until they get paid. Well,
oh,
I'm thinking
okay.
like why Loves is thinking if they have to wait until they get paid, when it shows gross pay, they're gonna tax that gross pay
Right.
unless they clearly define that this is non-taxable. Like in the military, you got certain stuff that's taxed. I think if it was pay, it was taxed. And Timmy, correct me if I'm wrong. And if it was an allowance, it wasn't taxed. If I'm not mistaken, like if you got a housing allowance, that wasn't taxed. But if you got your base pay or flight pay or sea pay, that was taxed. Yeah.
Mm.
And the Puritan said, "Oh hell no, run me my money." And they text him. They're trying to pick skill quick here. I tip in cash. TJ said the TJ Destination said he tipped in cash, and I may have to start doing that. I doubt it because I don't like keeping cash because I'm a firm believer. Once you break a 20, you might well just hand the rest of it to the person anyway because you're gonna spend it before you know it. I do not like carrying cash. Oh hell,
I don't carry cash much either. And TJ get on me all the time. You need to cash some dollars in your pocket. And I'd be like, I did. I started off the week that way. But once it's gone, I just don't go back to the ATM machine.
yeah. I don't know, man, because I think about the days. Now, I will say this here: if you don't have discipline, I would recommend carrying cash for tipping because it's so easy. And Rod did it more times than one. If you got a credit card and you tipping at this 18%, you might check that box because it's coming off a credit card. It's not your money, which it really ain't your money, but you got to pay it back. So, but if you got cash, you're gonna be more cognizant of how much you're handing to the server or dishing out. And I want to bring up something, and I don't know. I'm gonna see if Tanya and Pretty Tim ever ran in this, or TJ, or whoever. Oh, I went to the wrong one. Rod, talk about our conversation on giving me change the tips. So while Love says she went somewhere, and correct me if I get this wrong, while Love, but she went somewhere and they gave her, I think they gave her change to tip, and then I think in another instance, they didn't even bring her any change. They just assumed whatever was left was the tip. So let's say it was 720, and she gave them a 10 instead of bringing the 280 back. They just say, okay, well, have a nice day, and assume that 280 was their tip. And correct me if I'm wrong, but that's not how that goes. No, I'm like TJ. I mean Timmy. I ain't gonna call him TJ. That's telling you his name for him. But I'm gonna go back up. Hell no, run me my money and then let's count it up. Because what you just did is you just got no tip. Because I feel like you're trying to, I'm gonna date myself, but you're trying to gaffle me right now. you know, where did we establish this? And that's what's it. But again, these businesses, I think, have found a way. Hey, if we only paying them $1.25 instead of paying $15 minimum wage times however many employees that's under that pay bracket, how much money are we saving in a year? That's a lot of money, y'all. That's I mean, you take $13.50 and multiply that times a 8-hour shift. Let me see, 30 to 20. That's like $104 instead of oh, I lost Tanya. No, I don't know what happened. Tanya, you still there? Yeah, she'll be back, and I'll see her at the bottom. But that's I don't know, man. It just actually I think she is still there. She just muted her thing. So when I see that unmute or Tanya, if you can hear me, type in the thing that you're back. Oh, okay, you're over here now. Okay. Can you hear
Sorry.
me?
Yeah, I could hear you. I heard everything, but what happened was I was in the comments where the chat was, and I hit the button, and it actually kicked me out the studio.
Okay, I just took you
Now
out.
I heard you say something. Last thing I heard was you talking about somebody that basically just kept the change with the assumption that that was their tip.
Yeah, while I was
Oh hell no. Mm-mm.
yeah. She went and I'm using an example. I don't know exactly how much money it was. I can't remember. She told me, but for example, she gave a 10, and instead of bringing the $2 and it was 720, instead of bringing the 280 back, they just kept the 280 as the tip and told her to have a nice day.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no. And what did she say?
She was upset. She had a fit. I don't know exactly what she said. Put in the comments what you said, while because I'm gonna have to get with some of these cruisers that be wearing them hats, them hats that do all kind of stuff. I think I'm gonna give me a hat with a blue and red light on it, like the police. When they do
You
something
need
crazy, I'm gonna press the button and bring my money back. Because no, because they are getting better and slicker and better. And I do want to, I'm going to go back up, but I do want to thank my main man about that wallet for coming in the house. And he is a content creator, talks about finance and obviously about that wallet here, about that paper. Happy Monday. Glad to see you, my man. We did do a collaboration with Elevate with Vern, so it's good to see you in the house. Salute, my man. And TJ Destination, I always carry cash. Cash is king, especially when you travel. Yes. I think you can barter a little better when you have cash. That's just my opinion. Who knows? They may be taking it off the top. I don't know what they're doing with it. I don't care. Once I give them to them, I don't care what they do with it. I ain't gonna give them too much though. I'm not gonna give them more of what they deserve.
well, sometimes our money is more than our currency is more than their currency. I mean, the US is slowly losing their value at this time, but
I saw a post the other day on some social media site where $1 in 1933 was $1, and $1 in 2025 is actually worth 4 cents.
oh,
I mean, I don't know who typed it. I ain't look at who did it, but I don't know if it's 4 cents, but it ain't no dollar. Which, with that being said, y'all should check out my other channel, Investing with Rod, so you can learn how to make your money grow. And when the dollar turns to 4 cents, we don't care because we made a profit. Anyway, that's just a little unshameless plug, because I'm gonna plug my own stuff, best believe. And going back here about that wallet, said happy Monday. TJ just destinations agree from Why Loves to Motivate. And where's my change? That's what she said. Where's my change?
what they say when you ask for your change.
I wish Why Loves would come up and put her avatar up and just tell everybody this here, and just do like Tanya. All you gotta do is hit that little stop cam button, and it won't show you. I promise you.
I need the emotion behind it, why loves. I don't need no comment in the comments. I need some emotion behind it. Cause I know you was probably like, did this heifer just keep my damn thing?
And it's typically she and then she go now Willa, she said she need to see the well, I guess she ain't gonna see, she need to hear the emotion, not the typed emotion.
Yeah, I need to hear the emotion. I want no emoji.
Yeah, I know the little mad face, the little face turning red and all that. I'm in emoji school right now, y'all. I'm trying to learn them all. I ain't doing too good though.
Well, make sure you learn them. You don't want to be, choosing the wrong ones and it can send off the wrong signal now.
Well, Anwar sent me a salute emoji, and I thought it was some else. I didn't know it was no salute till it was explained to me. I ain't gonna tell you what I thought it was. Even on Real Talk with Rod, I ain't gonna tell you. But Pretty Timmy said you need to carry cash when you travel. ATM could be down, and more importantly, uh, not just the ATM could be down. All of the power could be down, which will affect the ATM, the credit card terminals, and everything, and it'll be a gigantic mess. And it can happen. I remember not long, I think it was a year or two ago. For some reason, AT&T had a problem in the Dallas area, and nobody could make a phone call or get on social media. For I forgot how long it lasted, a couple hours, I think. But Pretty Timmy got a good point, man. Yeah, you don't want to. And I used to carry $100, man. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that either now, but I used to carry $100 emergency cash just in case. But I will keep money in my safe for that very reason, in case all the, who knows, man, all these crazy movies. I think they get the movies from somewhere. They shut down all the power and can't nobody get no money and everybody's starving. I'm gonna have some cash. I'm gonna be over there.
No, if somebody shut down, anytime stuff like that go on, trust me, something's been hacked and somebody just need nobody to be able to call nobody while they do whatever it is they doing.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I get from it. So
Well, I think it took them too long. It took them a while to even let people know that there was a problem. And I think what happened, people who didn't have AT&T was letting people that did have AT&T use their phone, and they was posting it or something like that. It was something crazy. So while Love's laughing, they laugh. He said, "Oh," and brought me my damn change. While Love's like coming up here, I can tell you that there. What about vaccinations before travel? Uh,
what's
being in
wrong with
the
vaccinations before travel?
I being in the military, I had to get a lot of vaccinations before I.
And that's another reason why I shouldn't damn not matter no more anyway. Because they
Yeah,
done injected y'all with any and everything. If anything, y'all everything but turning green or blue.
you know what? Tanya bring up a good point, because when they first came out with the not the antidote, what they call it, the vaccine. When they first came out with the vaccine for uh, the pandemic, during the pandemic, my job was paying $100 for anybody that got the vaccine because it was voluntary. I was like, man, can I do it like 2 or 3 times, get like $300? Cause I'd have been shot up with all kind of stuff: typhoid, purple fever, yellow fever, green fever, stuff I don't even know what they was giving me. Sunburn, and I remember getting the anthrax shot. Everybody was getting out the neighborhood because they said you can have a kid with 2 heads or 3 heads. I was like, well, I don't plan on having no more kids. Give it to me, baby. And I didn't get sick for 10 years. I'm trying to figure out how to get another dose. And I'm serious. I mean, I'm making a joke out of it, but I'm serious. So I agree with the vaccinations before travel, because there are diseases that's not in America that could be in other places. So where can you go to find out what countries where you need vaccinations? Hey, about that wallet, are you about to start a vaccination business, or are you about to go on a trip out the country and you don't want to take a vaccination? I'm just curious, man, because I don't know about that. But I'm sure if you Google it, I want to say like companies that's kind of like, countries that's kind of like America don't really require, like Australia. I don't remember that, taking one before going there. Japan, I don't remember taking one. The Middle East, I don't remember taking one. But then we hit some of the Asian, Thailand, Philippines, people that have gone to Africa, they had to take stuff. So,
Well, that's because that's where most of the stuff is coming from.
yep. And then like a mosquito, I grew up in Arkansas. Mosquitoes were like part of the population. Um, but then when they came up, you can get the Nile virus. I can't kill them quick enough. I don't even know what the Nile virus is, but I know I don't want it. So I don't like using my card in a foreign country if I don't have to cash, cash, cash. And one of the reasons TJ made, I don't know why. I know a lot of people don't like using their card in foreign countries because of the foreign transaction fee of 2.5 or 3%. But there are a lot of cards out there that will waive that. I can tell you most of your American Express travel cards, your Chase travel cards, they'll waive that. But some people don't like it because now their information is in a foreign country and maybe not on the tightest security as it is in America. So I can definitely understand that. Rod, you know I am the save my dollar bills queen. Will travel with a few $100s worth of ones. Yes, she will. Why Love will pull up and have $150 of ones, like we about to go to the S Club.
Look, why love me too. Me and my husband, we about to go on vacation somewhere, especially Cancun, Mexico, Dominican Republic, especially if I'm gonna be at that bar. You just right. We carry about $400 or $500 in ones and fives, and we might have maybe $100 in tens, but everything else is in ones and fives. Look like we going to Magic City.
And for those of y'all don't know, Magic City is the S Club. That's what I'm saying, man. You got them bit in one, but yeah, hey, she is right. She will. But hey, it's a good way to save. I mean, I'm not embarrassed to pull out no ones now. I just don't mess with cash. I used to do stuff like that, but I just don't carry cash anymore. I don't. Since I don't carry it, I never can accumulate it. If that makes sense. Yes, I carry $200 spare cash. Says Pretty Timmy when out traveling, driving long distance to a destination. That's smart though, because you may get to a place in certain parts of this country in America that don't have an ATM. I mean, there's little bitty towns out there with like 150 people in it, and they ain't got everything that Atlanta and Dallas and LA and Phoenix and New York got. They just may have the general store. I'm saying, man, I done been there. And TJ Destination said I got 5 shots before going over the Desert Storm. And he ain't talking about shots of alcohol, y'all. And y'all check out TJ Destination. He does a Lido deck. And hey, TJ, I saw when you hit that Shay yesterday or whatever day that was, but that Shay hit you, didn't it?
That Shay hit him, but he should have recorded what the heck he was talking about. I'm gonna need you to be ready next time, TJ got dog. You can't have us waiting until you're live for some pertinent information and then you get up there and you got half the damn story.
Hey, I done did that, TJ. I ain't mad at you. I know I've done that. And you know what? I be wondering how Tanya and Timmy be over there making all them drinks and they don't never be lit. At least they don't seem like it. If they do, they good at hiding. I know I've been looking at a lot of my old videos. I ain't going to even say nothing. What were you? Only 3 of them are in my military shot records. We were government test people. Wow. So TJ said he took 5, but only 3 of them in his record. Man, so that leads you to believe what was the other 2 shots?
Ooh. You might be able to get paid for them 2, TJ.
You might got the Boogaloo Bang Bang shot. I don't even know what that is. I'm just making up something. Man. Boy. I don't like taking shots either, man. I don't. When I'm still on blood thinner, but when I was on the other ones, I had to get my blood drawn at least once a month, man. I ain't got no more veins in my arm. I look like I was on the what they call it on Godfather of Harlem, the doogie, or the what they call it, the doogie. It's a drug they got in New York or had in New York. Hey, Tanya, man, I got to go to New York. I got to go. Have you ever been to where Bumpy Johnson lived? I know this is off topic.
You talking about Harlem?
Yeah, well, I know you've been to Harlem, but like Did he have a house like Martin Luther King got a house in Atlanta?
We talking about a brownstone? I mean, ain't nothing but a brownstone.
No, I mean like you can go visit, like you can go like it's a museum. I doubt it. But
Oh no, I haven't been to it like since I moved away from it. But no. Mm-mm.
man, I love that show. I mean, I know it's a lot deeper than what they depict. I love it for the educational point because it's a lot of education in that show. In case y'all want, I'm talking about Godfather Harlem on MGM Plus.
Oh, you mean with Forrest Whitaker?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I need to go back and all I saw was like the first couple of episodes. I haven't watched the rest of it.
Well, I'm here to tell you, I only saw the first episode and I didn't like it and I didn't watch it. And then I ran out of stuff to watch and I watched it. I was hooked.
Because
And
it's on Prime, right?
it started on Prime, and then when you get to a certain point, it moves over to MGM Plus.
Ain't that some crap?
I
Okay.
hate that because it's somewhere now, and I don't even know where it is, and I ain't buying no more subscriptions. So I gotta wait till it get free again. But Why Loves, she swore she wasn't gonna never watch it. Now she watched it. We done watched it together a couple times. It's on season 4 now. See, Pretty Timmy, no. And my daughter texted me 2 nights ago and said, I've been binge watching Godfather Harlem all day and I like this, I hate that. And she texted me for like 35, 45 minutes straight. Like, look, girl, watch the show. Leave me alone. But okay, Wyla says she watching it on Hulu. Pretty Timmy says traveling internationally is very smart to carry cash. Yes, man. And you know, one of the reasons I don't like to carry cash overseas is if I get robbed, it's a click of a button for me to shut down my credit card. Ain't no clicks to shut down my money that they just took.
Oh,
But on in Pretty Timmy's defense, I think this was way before the internet is like it's now. My last deployment was 2007. Now I would feel more comfortable with cash because you ain't got nothing to trace me by. You don't know my address. You don't know no numbers, my nothing. So I would probably opt for cash now.
okay, but okay, I know this is supposed to be about tipping, right?
Yeah, it's cool. No, no,
Let's
no,
talk
no,
about
no. We talk about whatever on
let's
here.
talk about cash then.
Uh-huh.
So you said if you carry cash and somebody rob you how? You talking about getting mugged or you talking about
Get
like
more.
in the crowd pickpocket rob? Which
Pickpocket
one you
or get
talking about?
mugged, either one.
Okay, but then that if you gonna carry that type of money, then you got to carry it like on your body. Like it shouldn't be in your pocket, your back pocket. It shouldn't be where people can bump into your chest and slide their hand into your jacket and you don't know. It should really be like against your body. Like there was when me and my best friend travel, we travel. Usually, especially if we're going to a resort. You know, in a resort, even if you go off the resort, you're carrying certain things that you can wear against your body. So we get like it's a little body belt. TJ wears one too.
Mhm.
Um, but it's against your body like a flat belt where you just put like your ID, your passport, your phone, whatever, and it basically fits flat against your body, like up under your shirt and everything. So unless somebody is nearly undressing you, they can't get to your money. There ain't no back pocket to pocket, pickpocket. There ain't no backpack to unzip. There's no, no jacket or nothing where they can touch you in your chest and get that out of there. And then from a woman's perspective, if I don't have to carry all of that stuff, they have like this little bra thing. It looked like about the size of like a credit card holder, like that big, like
Mhm.
that tall and that big, no bigger than a credit card. And it's big enough for you to put about 3 credit cards, some cash or whatever. And the snap is very strong. It actually looked like a little mini satin envelope. And
Mhm.
what you do is, like back in the day where, Auntie and them, when they had the boobs, they put everything in their bra,
Mhm.
over in the side, you couldn't even tell. Well, that's what that is for. It's satin. So it is nice against your skin, but it got a little thing that wrap around your bra strap. So when you stick it in your bra, you ain't got to worry about it falling out or, you lean over or whatever. It's going to really be attached inside your bra to your body And you ain't got to worry about nobody. You ain't got to worry about no purse, no nothing. And if somebody gonna rob you, that mean they was all up in the goodies. But you just have to carry it a certain way. You don't have to worry about, getting robbed and stuff.
Well, tell you, man. And some people would say lazy. Man, I just don't have time for all that. Like I tried it one time and it just didn't work for me. Like I had money in my shoe and my sock. I had to take my shoe off, my sock off. Then I'm somewhere I don't even want to put my foot on the ground, so I'm standing up like an ostrich with one leg. I'm like, hell no, I'd rather get robbed than go through all this. But what I do try, I ain't don't try to do it. My wallet will be in my. Don't y'all try to rob me because in the other pocket is some protection, but in my pocket, my front pocket is where I keep my wallet. So I'm gonna know you, Rob. You ain't gonna pickpocket me. But another thing too, when I tried it and was traveling overseas, and as we drank and partied, you may start off putting it in your sock or all this other stuff, but then eventually you just get lazy. At least I got lazy. Can't say everybody. I got lazy and just start putting it in my pocket. But I like this fanny pack. Tony just gave out some good points. And about that wallet, said, do you keep money in your socks or a fanny pack? She just answered that about that wallet, both. I don't think she mentioned socks. She did mention the fanny pack. And then TJ said he carries his wallet in my front pocket. I just said that, had even seen his comment. While Love said, yep, she had one of those, gave it to my sister to travel with. Flat belts are the best.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Why love get one for Rod.
No, yeah, you can get one for me. It ain't gonna be in my stuff, the stuff I ain't gonna never use.
It's just like a belt. Rod, literally, it's like a belt. It's literally flat against your like your belly area. It's no wider than your. It actually stretches. So when you see it, it's probably no taller than maybe 3-4 inches, and
Mm,
it's about maybe 6 to 8 inches long, and it has a adjustable just like a belt. And what you would do is you would wear it like as if it was a belt, and you put your money in there, and it's flat, and you put your shirt over it, and it's nothing.
okay. Hey, y'all heard it from Tanya. Y'all go get y'all a flat belt. Tanya and Waloves like flat belts and fanny packs and jack packs and astronaut packs. Rod gonna keep, and me and TJ's destination gonna keep putting it in our front pocket. But I can tell you, I do like the idea of especially for, and I'm not trying to sound chauvinistic, but especially for women, because it bothers me. Even if I'm watching TV and see a woman get robbed, I can't stand it, But
Well, I
um,
mean, people go where people are vulnerable. That's
yeah,
at the end of the day, that's no different than, I put it to you this way. I'm not worried about being kidnapped. I'm not worried about being snatched up because I'm a little too heavy for anybody to snatch me the hell up. You gonna need two folks to just snatch me up and put me in a van. That's pretty much it.
man, I tell you, I saw you had posted something about you couldn't wear this or something because your thighs. I'm like, man, Tanya ain't that big. I don't know where she getting this from, but anyway,
Okay, I may not be that big, but I'm heavy. I'm solid. I'm thick. You can ask Timmy. He'll tell you I ain't no light chicken over here.
man,
But I'm not worried about getting kidnapped. Now my daughter, you can just snatch her by her wrist and she flying. So that's she's kidnappable. I'm not kidnappable. Ain't nobody snatching me up. They gonna need two brothers. They gonna need two folk to come snatch me up.
me and Wild Lovers be talking about that, like women and their weight, because I don't understand it, and I'm not about to get in the weight of women. That's a dangerous topic. But one woman could be 180 pounds and look one way, and another woman could be 180 pounds look a whole different way.
Right,
And it
right.
just, yeah, it just blow my mind.
It's
So
just like a bottle. Think about it. You can have two bottles. They can look the same, and each of them weighs something different because one may have fluid in it and one don't. And then you get somebody who they just their weight is distributed differently. So that's pretty much it. But no. Mm-mm.
well, I'm proud to say I lost some weight. I don't know how. Well, I know how. I tell you, man, boy, I kind of like it too, man. I ain't got no belly no more.
Well,
Uh,
that's because you all that yeast is gone. You said you stopped drinking. Well, Roy you was drinking that unbeer, and I didn't have the heart to tell you that unbeer is not really unbeer. You still like 0.03% alcohol in it.
well, you know who didn't have a problem telling me, Tanya? The hospital.
Oh,
They didn't have a problem telling me because they were like, well, you know what they do is remove the alcohol. Or something they was telling me. I was like, well. And my buddy had in there, well, Rod, did they give you a prescription where you could? I said, yeah, they did, man. They told me I could die, and that was a prescription enough for
that was a
me.
prescription enough. That's right.
It don't cost nothing. I ain't got to go to Walgreens, CVS, nowhere. Hey, I want to thank me tonight for being here. Say, hey, family, it's super late. Peace to the chat. And congratulations. Matter of fact, couple of congratulations. Excuse me. First and foremost, I want to wish Tanya happy birthday. I said it to her yesterday in a couple of different live streams, but now that I have, I can say it here. So, when is your actual birthday? Has it passed? Is it coming up?
Yeah, it was Sunday. It was yesterday.
Okay. And also, another congratulations to me and I for hitting 10,000
Woo, woo,
followers
woo.
on TikTok, y'all. For anybody out there that said that ain't no accomplishment, your boy on TikTok posting 3-4 times a day. I'm trying the special effects. I'm doing hashtags. I done finally figured out what FYP mean. I'm doing everything on the sun. I got 177 followers, and they got 10,000. So there you go. There you go. So congratulations. And then last one, if y'all got anything y'all want to shout out, let me know. But and while Loves Motivate got 3 more days, and she'll be out for summer break. She is in the educational field, and
Ooh, where
I
you
think I
where
hear
you
everybody.
going?
Huh?
Where you going, Wild Love? You got some vacations coming up.
Yeah, while Love, you got some vacations. Hey, TJ. Okay, speaking. Welcome in, meeting. I.
You
We
know
try to
what,
get.
Wild Love? You know what, Wild Loves would be a good vacation for you. Go on and get your plus one and tell them to take you to on that Ritz Carlton yacht cruise. That's what you want to do for the summer, Wild
Well, I'm
Love.
gonna tell you.
That's
I'm
what
gonna
you
tell
want to
you why,
do.
Love. Yo, what you call that person? Your plus one.
Plus one, yep.
Once they look up the price of that wrist card, they're gonna probably tell you hell no. I'm just gonna tell you. I'm just gonna tell you before you go get that idea. I don't tell you go here telling you these ideas, but your plus one gonna probably say hell to the no. That how much you think that's gonna be, Tony?
I actually checked. It's about $10,000
Per
for a week.
person?
For a week, yes.
Well, $10,000. Oh, hold up, man. $10,000 per person per week. Now I ain't no mathematician, but that equals 10 times 2 is 20,000.
Well, it include look, and I'm only saying this. I didn't say I was going, but
What
it
you
is.
trying to get
Think
while
of
on?
it. Well, think of it as like it's only how many people on that yacht? I think it's like maybe 20 or
Mm.
30 couples. You go. It's like 7 or 10 days, and you go to each port and everything, and you have all your meals, all your alcohol, all your excursions, all like everything's included. There's no extra, like you don't have to worry about gratuity or nothing like that.
Well, I'm gonna tell you. So you said $20,000, 2 people for 7 days, right?
Yeah.
I just paid $20,000 for a car that I'm probably gonna have 7 years. It's got all the amenities. If you want some snacks, we can stop at 7-Eleven. Uh, we ain't eat no pizza up in there though. I just can't do that, man. I know it's memories and all that, but
I mean,
I
that's
don't
only
know.
for, you got some folks that save up to do that just to, for certain milestones. And you get people where look, $10,000 is their pocket money.
Yeah, yeah. We put
You
it,
know,
it's cray. And
that'll be a video on investing with Rod. How you turn the reward points to get on the Ritz Carlton yacht cruise.
yeah, I could do it now. I could do it now. And for y'all, for those of you that don't know, and I've done a video on it. I may redo it again soon. But if you have 100 shares of Carnival stock, and all you have to do is prove to Carnival when you book your cruise, you can get a $250 on board credit just for having 100 stock. Stock right now is about, last time I looked, about $20 a share times 100. You're looking at about having 2,000 in stock and getting 250. And I don't know if it's every time you cruise or one time. I'll double check that though. All right, thank you. Unbeers is, yeah, she talked about unbeer. You know, man, that's when I was drinking that yak, boy. I was sitting on swole. They told me how much I weighed the other day, and I will tell y'all, man. Let's see. I'm trying to do it in regular. I've lost since I quit drinking. Y'all ready for this? The last time I went to the doctor and I was drinking, I was 234. And when I went to the doctor to get my cast off, I was 186. So that's about 50 pounds, man. If y'all want to learn how to lose weight, I'm going to start a new channel called Learn How to Lose Weight Without Going to the Gym. I'm kidding, y'all. I'm not. Learn how to lose weight without going to the gym, because I did it. Congrats on the 10K. What does FYP mean? For your page. It's some stuff for you. No, not for your pleasure. No, dog. No, man. Tell you still here? I don't know. Tell you, I don't know if she's still here. Maybe she hit another button. But we are going to get ready to end us here shortly. So this is, we're going to get to the last call for comments, man. Throw your comments in there. Happy Born Day. She ain't even here, so I'm going to save that one for when she come back. And I'm going to put me over here. Make me on supersize it like McDonald's. 10K, yes. Okay, Tanya's back in another. All right. You there, Tanya?
Yep, I'm here. I was trying to
You need to quit trying to do stuff.
no, I was trying to sign in so I could go in the chat to answer the FYP question, but you had answered it when I was about to click it, and then I didn't realize that I wasn't in there anymore when it said connect my YouTube. So I'm not used to working StreamYard on my phone. I'm usually on my laptop.
Oh yeah, I tried it on my phone. I ain't like that. You know, that's what them people like Anwater edit on their phone. Man, I don't know.
Look, my fingers ain't gonna let me do it. I ain't got enough patience for that.
Well, I got something. I think my daughters went to the doctor and they said it was tremors or something. So I know it ain't gonna let me do it. I barely can text. So if y'all texting me and thinking I ain't paying attention, it just take me a while because I had to hit the back button more than the letters. I need to go to California to put my eyes on my mother.
Oh, okay.
You on the phone conversation? No, okay. Yeah, you do. 10K, $10,000 for 10,000. What about that wallet? What you talking about? $10,000 for 10,000 followers?
Look, I know about that wallet saying, Anwar, go on and tell folk to donate $1 to your channel. I guarantee you they go your 10,000 right there.
And about that wallet, say your price is your price. It's two things that I was told that's not negotiable. And that's death and taxes. Anything else, your price is your price. I beg to differ. Only because I worked in sales and I understand the game now. Everything can be negotiated. Now, that don't mean go to Walmart and they got something for $19.97 and you go in there and want to negotiate at the counter and hold me up. That ain't gonna work. So don't do that. But most stuff is negotiable. Yeah, stop pushing buttons, Tanya. All right, y'all, we was talking earlier, and I'm going to get into this here real quick. Now, I tell you, I showed you Papacitos. And
that was the Mexican one, so that's in Marietta. Okay, but you said there was a steakhouse one.
Yeah, there's a steakhouse one, and then there's also, hopefully this don't, well, there it is. This is the barbecue. This is Papa's Barbecue.
Papa's Barbecue.
Yep.
Papa's Barbecue.
No, their name, but they call it, if you ask for it, they call it, it's Papa's.
It's Papa's.
See how
Okay.
they got Papa's Southern. Now they only had the barbecue joints in Southern Texas, down by Houston. Now, and I think that's what this article's
Okay. So that's Texas.
makes a
Okay.
big North Texas move. So they may not have a barbecue there, but they definitely got the Mexican restaurant.
That
And
barbecue look good.
yeah, man. I mean, and that's brisket. I don't know what that is over there.
Yeah, buddy. That's
Maybe
what I'm
that's
talking.
some greens or something. I don't know. All I care about is the meat anyway. So, and then they do have a Papa's Burgers. Um, and let me look at something here. Let me unshare this here. But it's I don't think I'm gonna pull up the Papa Burger because I don't want to keep people. Well, let me see what it look like first. But y'all, for those of you that like Papados, they have restaurants. To me, I can't eat seafood, but I'm just not a fan of Papado. I don't think their menu has enough stuff for non-seafood people. I guess if you're not a seafood people, you aren't supposed to go there. Then. I don't
Yeah,
know.
but they stopped selling the lobster tails. They make you get the whole lobster now.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. I'm like, you out your mind.
All right. All right. So yeah, I want to show you now. I want to show y'all. This is DoorDash, so I ain't gonna go by that. But for a Papa's cheeseburger through DoorDash is $20.52.
What kind of what's on that damn burger?
I'm about to show you. I lost the picture. So
There's no you ain't gotta show me because there's no burger worth $20.
you're right, because I'm looking at these and they all look normal.
Cause unless that burger is fat like how grandma used to make it at home, with all the green peppers and onions spilling out the daggone beef, that's not a $20 burger.
Yeah, looking at this here, I mean, I don't know how
It
to
look
rebuild.
good.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, it look good, but it's still not $20.
Now I've been to some place at McDonald's. You get a Happy Meal. I'm not a Happy Meal, but a meal. It's like $12, $15, man. It up. I
Yeah.
know it's up there. Why Love said this was a good conversation, a great live / conversation. Good night, lovely people, and thank you, Why Love, for
Good
being
night,
here
my love.
today. And yes, you definitely need to do that with your mama. I'll talk to you about that offline, though. But hey, man, that's all I'm gonna do with the because I'm well over my legal limit of how much time I wanted to be on here. And I do want to thank um, Tanya from Event Yours for being here. I know we do have a collaboration, an interview where Tanya is going to be interviewing me. Is that for members only to watch that, Tanya? Or
No, we'll be recording it.
right?
We'll be recording it Wednesday this week.
Yeah,
But it won't air. It'll air while we're in Greece. So it won't air until the first week of June.
man, I'm gonna find somebody to adopt me. I don't know if you can adopt somebody at my age, but y'all going to Greece and y'all stand in them little white buildings and you're gonna take with the
We
pictures.
no, we're sailing on Virgin, so we fly into Athens.
Okay,
We fly into Athens on June 6th,
okay,
and we get there on the 7th. So we actually lose 7 hours when we
mm,
get there. So it's just a 7 hour difference.
got
Not as bad as like, going to Japan or something where you like a whole 13 hours or something. So it's just 7 hour difference. And then we'll be on the ship from June 8th, that Sunday, through that following Sunday on the 15th. And then we fly back. So we fly back into New York and then back to Atlanta on the 16th.
Gotcha, boy. Y'all got a busy schedule. Hey, quick,
Yeah.
and he may. I don't know. Pretty Tim is still here. This is my last question. does Pretty Timmy? I know he's from the South originally, and y'all in Atlanta. Does he like New York? I've always wanted to ask him this.
Um, that no, I don't think so. I'll let him answer. Does he like it? He
I'm
hasn't
asking.
been.
I'm
He
asking.
hasn't been often. He's
Yeah.
from North Carolina, but he's been in the military, so he's probably been everywhere else but the United States most of the time.
Hey, look at that.
So there you
No.
go. He answered. He said no, he doesn't.
Yeah, I got
You
it on
know.
the screen. I liked it. Um, the first time I went, second time was okay. I wouldn't want to live there, but I would love to have a condo or whatever they call it, a flat or whatever in Midtown Manhattan or Manhattan.
Hmm.
Period. That's why I
See,
was.
I would. I don't think I would want to live in Manhattan unless it was like in a high rise or something.
Mhm.
But if it's gonna be like a brownstone, over in Park Slope, Brooklyn Heights is where I would more Brooklyn Heights is where I would want to be.
See, yeah, I'm not familiar with that, but
That's like going closer to Brooklyn Bridge.
well, see, I walked across. Well, I did it the dumb way. I was intending to walk from Manhattan into Brooklyn, but some kind of way I caught a subway to Brooklyn and walked back into Manhattan, which I guess it made sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But that was very
Tim,
interesting.
TJ, you want to sleep in the den downstairs?
He said, too many nuts that think they are better than the rest of the state. People from New York are cocky, though. They are. I'm telling you, they are.
And
They,
let me tell you, and I keep telling him, people are whatever they had to do to survive, whatever their surroundings were, that's basically who they are growing up. Okay, so that's just what it is. If you grew up in a dog eat dog area and you had to watch yourself all the time and there it was, survival of the fittest, then your mentality of doing things is going to be that way. You're not going to be as trusting, you're not going to be as friendly, you're not going to be as, open to others because you grew up seeing when that happened, people either got mugged or shot or robbed or taken advantage of. Now, you grow up in an area where everything is peach and roses and everybody is raising each other's children and everybody over your house for lunch and after church and everything, and your mama know everybody down the street and daddy know everybody down the street. Then of course you walk around like, hey, how you doing? I'm your friend, you my friend, we good, I trust you until I don't trust you. Well, if you're from New York or most of those places like that's not how we grew up. You did We don't trust you until you show that you can be trusted.
yeah.
He grew up, I trust you until I have no reason to trust you.
And
You
that's how I
know,
grew up. That's how I grew up in New York.
right, exactly. And there's nothing wrong with that. I just tired of folk when they want to talk about just because I'm, from a different place, they, got something smart to say about it.
Yeah, like I said, I like to know. I did not, and this will be the last thing I say about this. I did not like Harlem. It has a lot of history. I do want to go back after watching Godfather Harlem, but I want to go with someone from there, from the New York area. Uh, Not they don't have to be from Harlem. It'll be better if they're from Harlem, but definitely from the New York area because, um, and I'm gonna say this here, telling you, you're gonna really crack up. You thought the outfit from Arkansas was something, but it just seemed like I had to keep my head on a swivel.
Yes, yes,
Everybody looked shady. I went into the
yep.
Apollo. It was kind of darker than I expected.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't open. I mean, it was open, but it was no one performing. It wasn't like nighttime, daytime.
Mm-hmm.
I ate at Caribbean Star, I think it was on some street, 125th or Atlantis, whichever one of them streets it was. And it looked nice, but I just didn't feel comfortable. But I will go back. But when I was in Harlem and I got off the subway, not just Harlem, but I did it in Harlem too. Y'all, I was using MapQuest on my phone, the app
Using MapQuest for what?
to walk. to figure out where I was going. That's why I said Tanya ain't gonna never let me live that one down. But I don't know why I always had the wildest stories when Tanya come over here. But yeah, I I was walking. It's just like a car. Because people don't pay attention, but they get an option to say walk. And I had seen it many times. And so I'm walking down some side street in Harlem, wherever the subway let you off at. And it said, make a right turn in 150 feet. And people looking at me, but what it really did, they thought I was crazy. They thought I was crazy as hell. So nobody messed with me. Like, who walks with MapQuest? Nobody.
Right.
So no problem.
But they knew you wasn't from there though.
Oh, they did. Yeah, they did. And I had on a Yankees hat and some shades, and I still couldn't pull it off.
Nope. See, that's how that is. You can't walk down the street just saying hi to people. They looking at you like, I don't know you. Who you
Yeah.
talking to?
Yeah, I didn't do that. I was trying to walk like they was walking, but man, people in New York walk too fast.
Well, that's because they got somewhere to go.
Well, I guess that's what it was. I ain't have nowhere to be, but man, they be moving, man. It just I don't know, but I do want to go back. But like I said, I want to try to set it up where I go with someone from there or someone's there that's from there, whatever the case. But hey, y'all, with that being said, I want to take the time to thank Tanya from Event Yours for being here. I want to thank all the people that were in the chat that participated in the comments. I want to thank the people that were in the bushes. I want to thank the subscribers. I want to thank the people that are thinking about subscribing, but you haven't crossed that threshold yet. You know, keep checking us out. We got a lot of stuff coming out on this channel, all channels on the Points Blank Network. I do have an interview this Thursday with Kiki Adventures. She is a credit card guru, points and miles guru. She has close to, if not 50 credit cards. I'm not telling you to do that. I don't even have that many. But she knows what she's doing, and I will be on this channel, not the finance channel, not Points Blank Travel, but on this channel, I will be interviewing her Thursday, 7:35 p.m. Central Standard Time. Stay tuned, and while Tanya will be putting out the date on Event Yours for the interview that I'll be doing over there, the conversation, and also check out Event Yours, man. Different stuff, different nights, how to make cocktails, how to make mocktails, this type of tequila, that type of cognac, that type of bourbon, just anything. And then not just that, other different topics that doesn't include cocktails at all. And also it's just a great channel. So check that out. And with that being said, man, I'm gonna get ready to roll up out of here. Tanya, you got any last comments, thoughts, things you want to say before we raise up?
Nope, I surely don't. But I really enjoyed myself, and you'll be able to let folk know about the interview coming up. We'll have a date out by
Okay.
Wednesday. So this Wednesday we'll have a date of when it's going to. Most likely it'll probably lead up to one of your videos or one of your premieres or lives or something. Like maybe right before it or something.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
We could definitely set that up. So all right, then. And we got Pretty Timmy says, show me the money. Hey, man, you just speaking my language right now. Show me the money. All right, y'all. I ain't going to even do no music. I ain't doing no, putting no other things up. None of that. We just going to leave. Tell y'all
Okay.
hollering at you.
All right. Good night, everybody.
And thank you again for joining me. I appreciate it, man. Thank you, Pretty Timmy. And thank you, TJ's Destination, man. Y'all check out these wonderful channels, man. It's a lot of talent on YouTube. Check them out. With that being said, much love, y'all. I'm going to holler at you, Tanya.
Bye.